of 2023, the Nguyen surname is the most popular surname in Vietnam, accounting for more than 36 million people out of the country's population of 99.9 million. And that means chances are 1 out of 3 Vietnamese people you met will have the surname Nguyen, and this is also listed as one of the most common surnames in the world, along with Ly, Wang, Giang, according to the World Geography. The surname Nguyen is also common in countries with a large Vietnamese immigration. It's ranked 7th in Australia, 54th in French, and 73rd in Norway. In the US alone, the Nguyen surname ranks 38th with nearly 450,000 people. So have you ever wondered why the Nguyen surname is so popular?
Nguyen.
My name is Nguyen.
Nguyen.
Phil Nguyen.
My name is Viet Nguyen.
Tom Nguyen.
Nguyen.
Người họ Nguyễn như thế.
Nhưng mà đã họ Nguyễn rồi đó.
Nguyen.
The surname Nguyen. There are many opinions to explain the unusual popularity of the surname Nguyen. According to a study by the Faculty of Literature in Vietnam National University, changing surnames to Nguyen was quite common among the descendants of the dethroned dynasties. The main purpose was to change one's identity and avoid revenge from the new ruling family. Typically, when the whole dynasty collapsed in 1407, the descendants were afraid of revenge by the drunk descendants, so they changed their surnames to Nguyen. In 1592, when the Mạc dynasty collapsed, their descendants simultaneously changed their surname to Nguyen and Liu to avoid the retribution of the Ly Dynasty. Another reason is a tradition under the Nguyen Dynasty from 1802 to 1945, where people who have demonstrated great merit to the royal family were awarded by being given the national family name. One example is General and Officer Nguyễn Huỳnh Đức, whose names originally was Huỳnh Tường Đức. The Nguyen Dynasty was also the last monarchy in Vietnam. Perhaps that's why the descendants of the Nguyen family didn't have to change the last name to avoid any retribution. And in the 19th century, the French colonial era brought a new chapter to the Nguyen story. Up to that period, Vietnamese in the low and middle class usually didn't have surnames. Only those in the royal families had them. When Vietnam became a French colony, the French carried out a demographic study across Vietnam. In the process, they encountered a problem that so many Vietnamese people didn't have last names would make it difficult for them to organize the data in their system. So in order to solve that issue and continue the statistically data gathering, they assigned the surname Nguyen to all of them who hadn't had one, because Nguyen was the name of the latest dynasty. So again, that adoption of Nguyen's surname greatly expanded one more time. As a result of all these factors, the Nguyen family name dominates the rest of Vietnamese surnames in popularity. As such, the surname Nguyen does not necessarily denote one's regional origin, class, or even lineage. By the way, there are differences among cultures concerning the use of surnames and titles, and that causes confusion. So, story time. Last week, I hosted a workshop with my friend Nick Jordan for the Vietnamese community. Afterward, many of them reached out to Nick and addressed him as Mr. Nick instead of Mr. Jordan. And it gave him a good laugh. But here are some cultural differences that I had to explain to my friend. And I think it's going to be very helpful for everyone to know. So most Vietnamese have 3 names: the surname or plain name, followed by middle name, ending with the personal name. Fun fact, the middle name is often composed of 2 names. Usually one of them is Thị, associated with beauty, used for females, and Vâng, associated with knowledge, used for males. For example, my name, Nguyễn Thị Hoàng Diệu. Yeah, I know that's the way my ancestor told me to take care of my beauty. But anyway, back to the name story. With higher respect, we call someone by honorifics and the person's full name. In my case, bà Nguyễn Thị Hoàng Diệu. Bà means madam or miss, or just cô Diệu, cô means miss. Meanwhile, in the West, as you know, when communicating in formal context, the speaker or writer calls the listener or reader by honorifics and surnames, Mr. Smith, for example. So that's the reason why the Vietnamese guy reached out to Nick, called him Mr. Nick. With the tradition of addressing by surnames, and not just Nick asking me this question, I think with the tradition of addressing by surnames, the Westerners for sure are easily confused when they meet too many Mr. or Mrs. Nguyen in the same area. What about you? Have you got any problem with Vietnamese names? Comment down below and let me know, and I see you in the next videos about languages and cultures.